The pain, the sadness, the frustration when your credit card application is rejected can be very, very crippling. I've been there, done that myself maybe 30 years ago. But in today's conversation, what I want to do, I want to bring joy to your face. I want to bring a smile to your face. If you're applying for a credit card or you are about to apply for a credit card and you are scared about being rejected, I'm going to show you 7 hacks that completely protect you from denial. And this works always. So I want you to stick around till the end of today's conversation because you're going to love what you're going to hear. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweaty Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, we want to talk about personal credit card application rejected, 7 hacks that completely protect you from denial. Okay, basically, if you apply those hacks, you will never be denied, guaranteed. First of all, your FICO score. You got to know your credit score and what it means. Okay, so if you're scared about being rejected, make sure that you know your FICO score. If your FICO score is too low, you got to ask yourself, is it worth it? What are the requirements of the card I'm applying for? What are the credit score requirements, the minimum FICO score requirements for about the card I'm applying for? Okay, and you got to really make a decision. Is it worth it this time to be denied? Is the credit inquiry worth it? You probably will be losing 10 extra points once you get a hard pull. So that's a question you got to ask yourself. So the thing is, it's always better, and we have said this before, it's always better to gather some intel about the card you're applying for before you even apply. So how do you gather intel? Well, you go to a branch. If you have a relationship right now with a credit union or a bank, you want to go to the nearest branch. You want to sit down with someone and have a conversation. So you want to gather as much intel as possible so you are clear whether or not with your credit score you can qualify for this card, for the card you're applying for. This is important. And the good thing is that the reps at the branch, they'll tell you, hey, listen, based on our experience, your 650 or 675 is great. Or your 545, no, not really good. So what do you have to do? Well, the thing here is that you have to ask yourself, maybe I should wait for 3 more months or 6 more months before I apply. That way, I'm not getting rejected. Okay, what do you have to do if you have no credit score? Well, if you have no credit score, your chances are even limited. In other words, it's just better to apply for a secure credit card. That way you can build credit, okay? Don't you apply for a regular credit card unless it is a student credit card. And even in that case, you might get a $300 limit. I mean, been there, done that 35 years ago with Discover. By the way, I love Discover. But yeah, so they give you they give you $300 with a 23.44% or 49%. My point is that you have to gauge your FICO score first and see whether or not it is worth it to apply for a credit card. If not, just wait. Just wait until your FICO score is decent before you apply for the credit card. If you do that, you will never be rejected. Hack number 2. You have to really think about your needs. The thing is, we see a lot of people apply for credit cards. They just want to have a credit card. What's up with that? You just want to have a credit card. Yeah, I'm going to apply for this credit card, whatever they give me. Well, if you think that way, you are going to get a whatever card. And worse, your ass will be denied. See, the thing here is that you got to think about your needs. Right now, talk to me about your situation. Let's have a conversation about that. And I'm not, don't try to confuse the hell out of me, trying to give me stories. Are you in a relationship? Do you have children? Do you spend a lot on groceries? Do you travel a lot? Are you looking for a cashback rewards credit card? Are you looking for a low APR credit card? Those are conversations I want you to have in your head right now or with your significant other, so you are clear about what kind of credit cards you need, so that you don't apply for the wrong credit cards. Because if you apply for the wrong credit cards, you are going to have a situation where maybe you don't qualify with your credit score, or when the credit card issuer analyzes your application, they realize, this person is not a good candidate. So my point is what? My point is that it's just a lot better to think about your needs first and do things at the branch. For your credit cards, I want you to go to the branch or have a conversation on the phone. If you have an online institution such as Discover, where they don't have as many branches as possible, you can just give them a call and have a conversation. My point also is that you want to be clear about what kind of goal you have. Okay, so to consider a credit card, make sure you think about the annual fee. Do you think about the interest rate? Because if you will be carrying a balance, think about the rewards if you want to earn rewards. And does the card offer rewards? Do you qualify for those rewards? Does your spending pattern match those rewards? This is the kind of conversation I want to have. And if you are able to establish clear needs in your head before applying for a credit card, you will never be rejected, because you would have done the legwork, you would have done the homework beforehand and known exactly whether or not your needs are in synergy, your needs are in harmony with the credit card's criteria. Okay, and this is really important. So if you're looking for a cashback credit card, make sure that you actually will be spending money on groceries, for example, on gas station purchases, on restaurants and dinners and whatnot, so that you are, again, when you apply, you are certain. There is no guarantee for sure, but there is a 95% certainty that you will qualify for the card. Let's talk about the cost. And I just alluded to it earlier. The thing here is that some credit cards, if not all credit cards, have costs. Okay. And the costs, I mean, obviously, you know, the APR, you know, the balance transfer fee, right? You know, the balance, the annual fee also. Sometimes they have cash advance fees and whatnot, foreign transaction fees. The reason why I want you to study the cost of the credit card is because if you have no idea what the card charges, you may get the credit card with a low limit, but and the thing is, you will actually use the card irresponsibly. In other words, you will use the card in a bad way. What I'm trying to say here is what? Let's say you are applying for a Chase credit card, and the Chase credit card has an annual fee, has certain cost, and you haven't studied the card. You just apply for the card. You think your FICO is good, right? So you just apply for the card. And when Chase reviews your application, they realize that your lifestyle, your spending pattern do not meet what the card is asking for. So they're thinking that, hey, listen, this person may not be able to afford the costs that pertain to this card. For example, if your financial situation is not strong enough, you may not be able to bear the cost. Okay, let me give you a very typical example. Everybody knows that Amex, American Express, they charge on some of their cards an annual fee of $595. If you're making $1,000 a month gross income, you see right there is a disconnect. So the disconnect, the dichotomy between your financial situation and the card you're trying to apply for the chasm is too big. If that gap is too big, you will be rejected. This is why you want to study the cost of the credit card first, to make sure that your financial situation, your monetary situation currently allows you to actually pay whatever cost this credit card actually charges. Again, we are speaking about balance transfer fee, cash advance fee, penalty fees, foreign transaction fees, okay, APR, annual fee. So the constellation of fees must match your financial situation. Very important. If you study that, if you study the cost of any credit card you are about to apply for, and you are comfortable that you can absorb whatever cost they have, your chances of a credit card approval, the application approval, are really high. Let's talk about pre-approval. Son, are you there with me? I want everybody to listen here, okay? Daughter, are you there? Aunt, uncle, I'm speaking to everybody. Grandpa, I'm calling upon you. This is important. Grandma, you too. dad, mom, everybody, everybody. The thing is that you systematically and reflexively want to seek pre-approval. Let me repeat that. This is so important. You want to systematically and reflexively seek pre-approval. That means pre-approval has to become a reflex for you. The same way you think about a hot, I don't know what, whatever, hot enchilada, whatever. You want to think about a credit card application as a pre-approval as a reflex. So systematically, whenever you want to apply for a credit card, you want to wait for them to invite you. Okay, that way you are covered. Your ass is covered because you will never be rejected. You know why? Because even though there is no guarantee, if you pass the pre-approval master, if you pass that phase, there's no guarantee that you will get the card. At least you have an idea. You have a clear idea whether or not you could be approved. And this is a big booster. Why? Because if your situation is good, let's say you have a good FICO score or a decent FICO score, and you have a good financial situation, you have a job and whatnot, and you are pre-approved, and you enter your data, and the pre-approval tells you, hey, listen, you might qualify for a 10 grand. At least you know that even if you don't get approved for 10 grand, you might get 2 grand or 3 grand. That way you are never rejected. So a pre-approval is actually an important curtain, an important protection curtain that allows you to gauge your chances first before you apply for a credit card. Okay, so if you do this, you will never be rejected, my friend. It's important to remember that. Now, remember that when you apply for a credit card pre-approval, you have a soft pull, right? So your credit is not impacted. You don't lose anything. It is a win for you. You're not really losing anything. You know, people talk about, well, there might be some soft pull, or there might be some hard pull rather. When you do a pre-qual, there might be a hard pull. There is no hard pull. You know why? Because the lender or the credit card issuer, for that matter, they are legally bound to ask you your approval before pulling your hard data. So you have a chance to say, you know what? This is not what I signed up for. I thought this was soft pull. Why are you trying to do a hard pull on my record? So you always have a chance to say, I don't want that. Number 5, this is an important hack, very important hack. If you are trying to avoid your credit card application being rejected, I want you to really reflexively and systematically, again, you want to monitor your DTI and CUR. You know, anytime we say this, people say, well, you know, you talk about the same thing. Well, you know, I love talking about the same thing. You know why? Because I'm sharing with you 30 to 35 years of wisdom. Okay. Repetition is the mother or father or grandmother or grandfather of learning. Okay, so if you don't want to hear the fact that you have to control your DTI and CUR to qualify for a credit card, then you will never be approved. Because if I give you an example, CUR, your credit utilization ratio, accounts for 30% of your FICO score. 30%. How about that? And your payment history accounts for 35%. So right then and there, you have 2 elements, 2 criteria that actually accounts for nearly 2/3 of your FICO score. Oh yeah. And it's getting better. The lower your CUR, the higher your chances of being approved, because there is an inverse relationship. There is an inverse relationship between your CUR and DTI and your credit limit. So what I'm trying to say in everyday language is that when you have a low CUR, when you have a low credit utilization ratio on all your credit cards, that means that you stand a chance to have a higher credit limit, and you stand a chance of being approved anyway. Okay, so you want to lower your overall DTI. You want to do the same for your CUR. You want to set a repayment strategy on all loans and credit cards, and no matter your job or professional sector, they're very important. You want to estimate your monthly payments so you have a clear idea of how much you are paying every month. You know, and we have seen, like, people actually said they can set up an auto pay option so that you are paying automatically your credit card bills and loans and what have you every single month. That way, boss, you are basically avoiding being in default. And when you are not in default, you increase your chances of being approved, of having your personal credit card application approved. Okay, and never allow late payments to actually creep into your records. I don't care. You could be having some problems, some financial problems, whatever. But listen, do not, because if you are late, let's say you are having problems to make a payment this month, give the lender a call, give the credit card issuer a call. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another session of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We are still having a very passionate conversation about your personal credit card application rejection, how to avoid that, how to make sure you never have a problem, the same problem again. And I want to talk to you about the paperwork. The funny thing is, a lot of people, when you talk about the paperwork, they say, well, I have no income, I have no proof of income, I don't have a job, I have no proof of employment. And my question to them is, so how are you living? You have no job, you have no income, you have nothing. Okay, so why are you applying for a credit card in the first place? And more importantly, how are you going to repay whatever you charge on the card? Are you just one of those people who just love to chill, to go to happy hours even though they're broke? Or people who just give you a story, just a story full of trying to razzle dazzle you, trying to waste your time for nothing? Are you one of those? I hope you're not. I just hope you're not. So what I'm trying to say here is, when we talk about your paperwork, I'm speaking about the application, the credit card application. What you want to do is you want to go to a branch. Okay. You want to go to a branch. You want to ask for an application, and you want to study all sections of that application so that you are clear about what they require. Things like full legal name, date of birth, address, social security number, annual income. So you don't make a mistake on those, because those are fundamental data pieces. Okay. And you also have to think about, there could be some additional information that you may need to know about the business credit card, or that the credit card issuer might want to know. For example, your household composition, or let's say, how long have you been at your current job? So we're speaking here about job stability. We're speaking about tenure. We're speaking about employment stability. So when they ask you those questions, please be honest. Never rely on a credit card application. Never rely on a loan application. This could be a felony. So never do this. Okay. Anything you do, just make sure that you tell the truth. Okay. You do your best to provide the truth. And if you do this, you will never be denied. And it's always important. Like I said before, going back to what I said earlier about contacting any person at the branch, making sure that you have a conversation with them, so they will tell you, listen, here is what you need to do, here is what you have to do. And you can do this very easily. You can do this not only with a credit union, but also a bank. That way you have a clear idea. Like in this show, we are giving you the minimum, but you can always go to the branch and have a clear idea what the requirements are. Now let's talk about the application itself. If you never want to be rejected, never, for a credit card application, you want to be very specific about the application. In other words, the formal process of applying for a personal credit card. Now you have four ways that you can apply for a credit card. You can apply via the issuer's website. You can apply in person at a branch, for instance. You can apply over the phone, or you can apply through the mail. So what happens here is that you can apply through the mail if you received, let's say, a credit card, a pre-approval letter, or you just download the application form yourself and you want to fill it out and just send it to the bank. So you have four ways of applying. Our preferred method, our favorite method, is to apply at a branch. And you want to go to a branch, have a conversation with a rep first, not after, first, to make sure there is an opening, there is an opportunity for you based on your FICO score, based on your credentials, to actually, get approved. And it's really important to do this. Now, you can also try over the phone. I've said this at the beginning of the show. You can apply over the phone so you have a clear idea of what they want you to do. If those two don't work for you, you can apply also, you can apply through the mail. In other words, you just fill out the form with your business information. With if you have a business, if you have a business, okay. If you have no business, that's fine. But with your employer information also. So the thing is that you can also apply via the issuer's website. In all those four methods, applying via the issuer's website is the least recommended. At least that's the least that we recommend. You want to apply for a personal credit card online if you have stellar credit. If you have good credit, that's really great for you. But if you have less than stellar credit, in other words, you have a average to a low credit score, you definitely do not want to apply online. You want to apply at a branch whereas you talk to a rep, you have a conversation with them, you are clear about the conditions of the credit card, and you have a chance to actually ask any questions. So you can ask any questions, and that will help you prevent any kind of denial. So if you apply, son, daughter, if you apply those 7 hacks that I just gave you, your credit card application will never be denied. So number 1, I just do a quick recap here. This is very important. Quick recap. So I was talking to you about personal credit card application rejection, and we spoke about 7 hacks to actually prevent that from happening. You have a FICO score, your clear needs, your cost, your pre-approval, DTI and CUR, paperwork, and the application. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.